In this video, we're going to talk about how to find the quotient and remainder of this rational expression. We're going to use long division for this. If you were doing long division of numbers, you would write whatever is in the denominator, whatever is on the bottom, over to the left. And then you would write this like half square thing, and you would write whatever is in the numerator inside of it. So let's go ahead and do that. Since it would be in numbers, now it is a polynomial, but you'll see that this is very similar to dividing numbers. Okay, so now I'm going to focus on my leading terms. Okay, I'm going to say, okay, so now what times x is x squared? What times x is x squared? Well, x, right? X times x is x squared. So now, okay, so there you go. That's my first part of my quotient. All right, so x times x is x squared. So now let's go ahead and multiply this out so I can find what's left over. So x times x is x squared, and then x times -1 is negative x. Okay, just like how in long division, where you would take this number, multiply by that, write it underneath, and then you subtract it off, right? So same deal here, you need to subtract this off. Now when we're subtracting, we need to remember subtract both terms. So let's go ahead and distribute that negative sign so that it's really clear. So this then becomes a negative x. So let's go make that a positive. So we're getting rid of it. And then this becomes a plus x. So this becomes negative x squared, and that becomes a plus x. Okay, so that was distributing the negative sign. So these cancel. Okay, then we're left with negative 3x plus x. So negative 3x plus x, that'll leave you with minus 2x. All right, and I'll go ahead and drop this negative 2. All right, so again, now focusing in on the leading terms. What times x is negative 2x? Well, negative 2 times x is negative 2x, right? So go ahead now, multiply negative 2 by each term in this polynomial. So negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times -1 is plus 2. Negative 2 times -1 is plus 2. All right, now I need to subtract this off. So go ahead and distribute that negative sign so that you don't forget that you need to subtract off each term. So let me go ahead and get rid of this negative sign out front by making it a positive. And then I'm distributed it. And so change that from being a negative to being a positive. And change this positive to being a negative. All right, so these cancel. And this becomes negative 2 minus 2, which is negative 4. Now this is where I stop because nothing times x is going to be negative 4. Okay, so I go ahead and stop here. And, well, when I say nothing, I mean nothing with a power higher than 1, right? So we go ahead and stop there, and we say, all right, so this is my quotient. That's the quotient. And this is the quotient. And the remainder is negative 4 divided by x minus 1. Okay, this is the remainder. Right? So the remainder, don't forget, it still has the x minus 1 underneath of it. All right? So I can rewrite this original rational expression. It can be rewritten as x minus 2 minus 4 over x minus 1, right? You can double check your work by, well, you can simplify this and make it back into a fraction, and you should see that these two things, this, what's on the left-hand side, does in fact equal what you see over here on the right-hand side.